James Beaver is an Envoy mortgage branch manager in Houston. In business, James is known pretty much for a few things. One, he has a very strong interest in providing his clients with absolute exceptional service. He has an unrelenting work ethic, honesty, and he's full of integrity.
Dude, this is crazy. I'm never going to another closing again.
Yeah. By the way, this is the first ever, maybe the last, episode of Realtor Ramblings on the Road with Ryan.
I love it.
Lots of R's.
Thanks for inviting me.
Wait, before you get into business.
Yeah.
I want to make sure we talk about this story, and this is the story. You had never been fly fishing before.
I'd been fly fishing.
You had, you had been fly fishing, but we had never been fly fishing before.
We'd never been fly fishing.
So we go to the Guadalupe River, and
great. It was like 28 degrees when we got there.
Yeah, it was. Dude, you never really realize, like,
That's cold.
Texas has lots of weather changes.
It's cold.
We go to the river and fished all day, caught nothing, and then, like, wasn't all day, right? Or I caught nothing.
You caught something at the end.
Yes, but I'm saying we fished like 7 hours and nothing.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we caught one about the same time within about 30 minutes of each other. And we take our photos or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we
You're the master of the photo technique, right?
and then we go back and look at the photos, and there's my fish, and I'm holding it all nice.
Yeah.
And it's like,
great.
oh man, this is nice.
This is a nice
A little massage, a little,
The fish almost fell asleep in your hands.
He was. And then we go and look at your fish, and it looked like it had a ring around its neck from your fingers, and the fish's face, which we'll have to put in this video so people can see this face.
That fish was struggling to stay alive.
It was like, oh, stop right now.
That didn't want to get away, Ryan. That fish was not going to get away.
Oh gosh, I'll never.
Death grip.
So how's business? You guys,
It's good. It's
y'all
weird,
always
man.
crushing it.
It's really weird. It's been, busier than ever because we've had so many people refinancing, and honestly,
Has that been like, not a majority, but has that been like, I would think a year we talked ago, you said, we're doing them here and there.
yeah, kind of the last 4 years, our business has probably been like 90 to 95% purchase business.
Okay.
And now it's probably closer to 50-50.
So that was actually one of my questions. I know the answer, but is it a good time to refi?
Yes. Pretty good.
Pretty good time. Like,
in the last 50 years, I'd say it's a pretty good time. Yeah.
Okay. Like, say you bought a house 2 years ago, your rate was
Refinance.
If I do refinance, what kind of fees would I expect to have to pay out of pocket? Typically. 'Cause I get that question a lot.
Yeah, typically. So it kind of depends on how people want to do their refinance. Most people want to roll the closing costs into the loan balance. Okay.
So you can do that.
Yeah. If you have enough equity in the home, you can roll the closing costs into the loan balance. Okay. And so kind of your out of pocket is the cost of the appraisal when we're getting started in the process. So we typically charge about $550, but really it's the appraiser that determines the cost of that. So that could end up being more or less, but that's the fee that we usually have people pay up front. And then what we tell people is, when you're refinancing, you should be prepared to bring between $0 and one mortgage payment to closing, assuming that they're moving.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, and you skip a month's payment.
So you kind of get it back.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, usually people are bringing a couple $100 to close.
All right, so tell me, what would you say is the funniest, most unique story you've had in the mortgage industry?
I've had quite a few things happen over the years. I'm going to help these people out with a home purchase, which I had never done a home purchase before. This is my first time to do a mortgage on a purchase, and I thought, man, this is fantastic. I've got a client in Houston buying a home instead of refinancing somebody in Tennessee. I'm excited about this. So I asked my boss, I'm like, you know, hey, we're going. So we go through the whole underwriting, processing, appraisal, all that stuff. We're getting ready to close, and I go to my boss. I'm like, hey, should I like go to the closing? Should I do that? So he's like, go shake everybody's hand, say hi. It's a great opportunity for you to meet people. And so I was super nervous, and you know, I was like, boy. And so back then, the buyers and sellers would close together, like everyone would be in the same room together, right? So I get there, and the sellers aren't there yet. The buyers are, and they're not happy. I mean, they're like super tense, and like the second you walk in the room, you can just feel it, right? So like, what's going on? They were mad. They had just done the walkthrough on the house. Walkthrough, you know, people are walking through the house right before they buy it to make sure everything's moved out and clean and everything's the way they expect it to be. So they went to do their walkthrough on the way to the closing, and the sellers, I guess, when they were getting the house ready to sell, had painted the house, but had just painted around all of their furniture and their art and their mirror, whatever they had on the walls. So when the buyers went through to walk through the house right before closing, the entire house was just like painted silhouettes of the seller's furniture.
Oh my God.
So they were not happy, and so then the sellers show up.
Honestly, never seen that before.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the sellers show up, and they're in the same room, and everybody's like, they're yelling, and everybody's upset. I was like, dude, this is crazy. I'm never going to another closing again.
Yeah,
that was my first purchase transaction, first closing to ever go to. Everybody's
and
yelling.
look where that's taking you now.
Yeah, minimal therapy tied to that event, probably.
Right. That's right.
Go, man.
Take care, man.
Good to see you again.
Yep.
Let's do the Maserati next time.
That's right.
See you, bud.
See you, man.